Let's do this again. There you go. There you go. All right. Now we got a fresh start to the week. Now it's just pretty much the time to pretty much be a show. You know, that jazz. It's Monday, folks. You know what that means? Fresh set of interviews, fresh set of episodes, a fresh set of shows for Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Swayze. Today we're going to have Griffsauce on. We're going to be talking about a lot of good things. Talking about Just Walk, talking about Crank My Pain Away, talking about rapping and producing, talking about the marriage of punk and rap. It's a lot of shit to talk about. So, got a few updates for you guys. So, essentially, August is about to be my month. Not like in an arrogant way, but I'm about to be doing a lot of shit for August. I'm kicking off Swayze Saturdays this Saturday with the world premiere of Shelf. Next week after that is going to be a special between Inside the Rapper Studio and Working Title Podcast. Then the week after that, August 15th, we got the release of Love a Double Feature. Also coming out with a lot of shit for August 15th. New merch too on the way. Not the hat. It's gonna be like a shirt combo ensemble. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, got that going on. Damn, you ever get that email in the middle of like a live? It's pretty much saying the pack is on the way. Love it. So yeah, got that going on. Week after that, it's going to be the season finale of Inside the Rapper Studio. I know I get a lot of emails saying like, "Hey, can I get on? Hey, can I?" And they ask legit in the last 4 weeks as if that shit isn't booked up. Which is no offense, because I appreciate the asking and the inquiring and things like that. You can go ahead and join the live Griffsauce. But yeah, like 20 weeks in a row. You think I'm not gonna take a fucking break? Like, I'm aiming for 100 episodes, no break. So, like, yeah, I'm going to have to need a break for, like, a month or two. So, let's get this little baby started. Swayze Saturdays. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
All right, let's get things started. Another wonderful episode of Inside the Rapper Studio. Of course, I'm your host, Swayze, and today we have a very, very, very special guest in the building. He is the madman himself, the mad scientist, works with Just Walk, rapper, producer, show booker, whatever you can name that deals with the game. He's playing it and playing it well. So, I'm going to need everybody in this chat, in this live, to drop hearts, drop likes, drop comments for the one, the only, Griffsauce.
Hey, appreciate you, bro. Oh, you ever done an interview on a reservoir before?
Not yet. Trust me, I'm planning on knocking out my first interview tryout.
This counts, doesn't it?
Hey, this is icy. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I prefer somewhere with some Wi-Fi, but this is just...
This all good? You see I dress like you?
What's up?
You see I dress like you?
Oh, you got the rope. See, this is what I want, folks. Just come with, like, I'm not gonna ask to bring a rope, but
it should be expected.
It's cool. It's all. But besides that, how are you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling great, bro. I've been smoking. We've been swimming, drinking. Can't ask for anything else. How you been doing?
Sounds like a move in my opinion. Pretty good. Can't complain. Making moves. Got another day on this earth to make things happen.
That's true. That's a blessing.
So, with every episode of Inside the Rapper Studio, there is an origin story told from the bottom of the screen. So, could you tell us all how everything got started for the artist we all know and love as Griffsauce?
Damn. So, I'm glad you asked me this question. I started playing guitar when I was like 7, right? Like 6 or 7.
Right.
And so I was always very musical. And I was like 14, 15 years old. And I was teaching guitar to like little kids at School of Rock. And one of my guitar teachers, every day I would order pizza. And I'd be like, give me extra sauce on that. I want like double the sauce. Like, no way you think this man wants this much sauce on his pizza and you're almost there. And so all of my other teachers started calling me Griffsauce. And it stuck. And then I was still trying to be on just my pure punk shit, right? Like, right. in some little bands, me screaming, playing guitar, doing all that good shit. And then I started making beats for a couple people I went to high school with. And, you know, I just kept my punk influences on my new shit. And now I'm here.
Gotcha. So for
I got applause.
for the early start within like punk and things like that and going into like rock, what would you say it taught you going into like bleeding into the hip hop field, so to speak?
Well, I say for one, I noticed there's a lot more similarities in the music genres than people typically give it credit for, especially more modern punk, more modern metal. It's all about bump, 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 just like an 808. You know what I mean? Like just that low bass shit, being as hard as possible, being as ignorant as possible, and as you know, a lot of times we're speaking the same things, just not quite in the same language. So I didn't even think it was that difficult of a transition. You know, it was just someone had to put it in the right spotlight.
Gotcha. I'm kind of glad that you said that it was like essentially the same language with a different dialect, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Got you. So what would you
like
say?
like saying the same shit, you know, I feel like in a lot of ways punk and hip hop try to express the same type of shit, you know what I mean?
Got you. I mean, we're already on I'm not gonna lie, I planned on having that as like the ending like topic, but since we're here,
Hey, let's get to it.
Might as well talk about the marriage between punk music and hip hop. Where in my opinion, I feel as though it's the language of the rebellion.
Yeah.
Punk kind of he's like underage crowds, whereas though you can't really do things at a certain age, and it kind of shut those out. And hip hop was born within like after the civil rights movement. So, and a lot of the times they kind of coincide in terms of the message.
For sure. And I mean, it's like you're saying, you know, kids having to go out and do it themselves. You know, that DIY culture is so similar. And like, I like to think, you know, SoundCloud rap is just like modern British garage rock. You know what I mean? Just kids in their garage, just kids in their fucking bedroom. You know what I mean? Just make a studio out of what you got and throw the shit out. They're basically the same shit.
Absolutely. I feel as though like with the and it kind of speaks for SoundCloud to be somewhat the flagship of independent music. Whereas though a lot of that times where it comes to independent music, most of these punk bands weren't really going to like the indie labels or like labels. They were just doing the shit themselves and just scavenging up money.
Mailing out cassette tapes and shit. Yeah.
Exactly. So do you feel as though with those parallel stories between garage punk, do you feel as though they could kind of go the same way in the same trajectory?
Kinda, yeah. Because I mean, just like punk, you know, it started to get more mainstream. People started to kind of embody that SoundCloud rapper persona,
right,
without really going through those DIY processes of really trying to put in some groundwork and do shit yourself. You know, like you know, there's I'm sure hella punk bands that were just industry plants essentially, you know, just put together by a label and just given that same kind of vibe. So it's not a very positive outcome, but I think we're reaching the same station.
I'm actually very glad that you said that, because in terms of the same trajectory, I don't mean whereas though like punk bands will just get this big explosion and now it's the most popular like genre in the world. But whereas though it can get monetized to the point where the monetization could lead to the bastardization of it. Do you feel as though it kind of can lead to that same route?
For sure. And you know, a lot of people lose that punk DIY kind of feel with their rap as soon as there's hella money around, as soon as they have a whole label and team and all that other shit. So definitely, money can totally fuck that up.
Absolutely. Well, I want to jump right into the two swords that you hold within the battle of music. The first sword being rapping, and the second sword being producing. How do you wield within this battlefield?
I just blindly swing, baby. But nah, I mean, the way I come with producing, like it's really tough for me to like set up a time. Like, all right, I'm gonna sit down right now and make this beat with you at this time. Like, where I can do that when I'm just recording. right? Like I can sit down and just write something on the spot. But with my beats, it's really like I'll just be smoking, doing whatever, and then I just hear a little melody in my head. It's like right then and there, I gotta drop what I'm doing and go make a beat, and then I make the beat like 5-6 minutes, and that's it for real. So they come in different swings. You know what I mean? Like they don't really operate on the same kind of level. But I love making beats, man. Like no matter what I do with myself as an independent artist, I'll always be making beats for people.
Gotcha. Do you feel as though the early on done with guitar learning and learning the guitar and learning instruments and things like that? Hopefully, please don't drop the phone in the water.
You're good, bro.
Like, with those early beginnings within like using instruments and things like that, do you feel as though it translated well into your production?
Oh, for sure, and like honestly, it's like drum wise. You feel me? Like I said that thing about the 808s, comparing that to like low basses and guitars and all that stuff. But the drums are pretty different from like what you would expect for a traditional punk kind of drums to a hip hop. But like I like taking key elements like blast beats or like some real triplet thing that you would only see in punk, but have that be the tempo for these hi-hats on this rap song. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I mean, you know, playing guitar, all that good stuff, that just taught me like the music theory. You know, like at one point I dropped out for this music, but I was going to UMBC for music tech and like classical guitar. Oh, I was doing all this crazy shit. But yeah, it definitely just made me an all-around better musician. I mean, like what beats or engineering or recording, whatever, like, you know, that's just someone's independent musicianship. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I totally understand that. So I want to jump right into the project that well, before I do that, we actually have a question for you. Huge shouts out to Planet for throwing this question to you.
Oh yeah.
He asks, who is your favorite producer?
Probably Ronnie J. Listen up. Probably, honestly. Yeah, shouts out to Planet. But he was, you know, love Planet. But Ronnie J, especially when I first started listening to more rap than punk, you know, like kind of making that transition myself, he was one of those producers that right away I was like, this is the shit I would be making, you know, like I heard some of those punk influences and I heard some of that heavier scratch and whatever else. Like, I don't know, I just vibed with that more right off the bat. So definitely Ronnie J. I like all those heavy 808 type of producings for real.
Gotcha. So speaking of producing, you actually were the executive producer of the latest project that was most released called Crank My Pain Away, correct?
Crank my pain away.
Okay, so I want you to talk to us about how the inception of this project came about.
It had a wild inception. That's a great word because that is me and Bailey's love child. That tape, you know. But but basically, I made the first song off that, the Suicidal one, where I sampled Sean Kingston. I made that months prior. And I sent it to Bailey, like, not its current draft, but, like, the first version of that. It's like, I got this wild idea. I'm just going to say Suicidal on the whole fucking track. I'll let that be the track. I sent it to him months ago. He fucked with it, but he didn't get on it for a while. And then he finally sent it back to me. It was fire, and I loved it. So I fucked with the beat a little bit. I, like, you know, tweaked it, made it more modern. And then on that FaceTime, when I had just sent him the final beat, he came up with this idea. He was like, you should just sample like some shit like Soldier Boy, like just some other, you know, 2005 type of popular ass song, like some everyone recognizes but hasn't listened to in a little bit, you know. And as soon as he said that, like on the spot, like I was saying, just took me 5 minutes, just stroke of inspiration. I made the other two beats like right then and there, like that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Quick
So
drop
it was one of those things. It was like when I sent him the first beat, I loved the beat, but then when we linked back up, and it was just like, it felt like the stars aligned, you know? It was like all of a sudden these other two beats were just in my lap.
Gotcha,
Hey,
gotcha.
you, Benjamin?
So I actually want to talk about the video for Suicidal too, because I'm not gonna lie, like it's well constructed, it's well shot. Huge shouts out to no whatever for shooting it,
Yeah.
and also it seems well directed. Did you guys direct it too?
That was mostly Bailey for real. He just had a couple ideas. That was all at my house that we shot the video at too. But nah, it was just like I'm just gonna flash a bunch of money and smoke weed, and then Bailey wanted to hang himself, and that's pretty much what you saw.
Ah, very artistic, if I might say.
Yeah, it's on the spot for sure, but you know, very little I think script. You know, it was just kind of we were feeling what we were feeling at the moment.
Gotcha. So, for the folks that's late to school, as always, the song that was most recently playing was Suicidal, produced by our wonderful guest of episode 81. Jesus Christ, 80 fucking 1 episodes. Griffsauce.
Hey,
Once again,
Big 8-1.
For joining me on this great live and great interview and allowing me to ask you these personal questions about your life. I'm going to give a few shouts out to everybody that's in the live right now. Huge shouts out to Eric Jacobs. Huge shouts out to Benjamin Banger. Guys, got Bailey himself in the bill after you. Huge shouts out
The
to
one and only.
PSA this Friday, 31st, called Free Mac. Check that out. Stream it now. Well, stream it this Friday, I should say. Huge shouts out to They Love K, Omnipotent. We got produced by Bazemores, Cheap Drugs, and K.
Planet, of course.
And so, Mr. Sauce.
Yeah, shit buffering. Mr. Sauce. Lost you for a sec. This shit buffering.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up? My bad. This about to be a short interview.